Let's start again since we're now unmuted. It's great. Hey, everybody, this is Chris Valona, and
I'm Secondhand Steve.
welcome to the show. This is called
A Man's Journey.
Brought to you live by Raregivers, of course, live on YouTube tonight, and possibly in the coming weeks, we'll do Facebook, Instagram, whatever else we can do live for you. But thank you for joining us tonight. So
Glad you're here.
yeah, really glad. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're I couldn't do it without you, so I'm glad you're here.
So this is a show talking about men in the caregiver space. And a caregiver is someone that is taking care of somebody else besides yourself. So in this format, we as men are taking care of rare, challenged people, such as my son, Sebastian, such as Steve's son.
Severe autism, nonverbal.
The name again, I forgot.
Dominic.
Dominic. Sorry, that's my grandfather's name, Dominic. So that would be called a rare disease, right? That's where the name Raregivers came up. I believe that's what we're doing. We're taking care of the rare disease population. But I mean, if we're going to be inclusive, I mean, anybody can be a caregiver.
Absolutely.
Right. Do you have what it takes to be a caregiver?
It's usually associated with, let's say, someone who's maybe infirm and can't take care of themselves anymore. Someone who's elderly.
Infirm? What does that mean?
They're not able to take care of themselves like they used to be.
Okay. All right. I don't know very much. I can't speak. I don't have a great vocabulary.
Public school?
Mostly because I was kicked out of.
Did you at least have a good team?
No, I didn't have a team.
Okay.
I had a very strict father who was Italian and a mother who was Irish. So I still have my teeth, thank God.
So Raregivers has to do with, it's a specialty kind of caregiving. And caregiving, basically, caretaker is, again, like you said, taking care of that which is not your own. But in a lot of cases, though, we are taking care of our own. And the states have set it up, especially where we are here in California, where we don't have to institutionalize our loved ones. We can opt, if we're able to stay home, get paid by the state, maybe another agency, and take care of mothers, fathers, aunts, sons, daughters. And it's a nice option to have.
Well, that's a nice option. But a lot of us can't do that option because a lot of us don't want to do this.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
No.
It's
It's not for everyone. And so the few men that actually, are put in this position, I would have to say they bounce, they bail, they leave it up to the mothers. They don't really want that type of responsibility. And then there's the small percentage like us, Steve and I, where we actually jump in because we want to, not because we're getting paid or not because, somebody's forcing us at gunpoint. These are our children, right? And we have an amazing amount of compassion and patience and love and tolerance. It ain't easy.
No, and that's not even, there's no words for what it is.
No.
It has to be experienced. And everyone has their own level of difficulties depending on your situation and your circumstances.
Right. So, I mean, you married in, as we talked about last week, and you just jumped right in.
It's like caregiving called me. I think there's a few professions and things in life where, no one ever ends or thinks they're going to be there when they're young.
I'm thinking of that song right now, Stevie Wonder. I just called.
How does that fit?
To say I love you. I don't have any ability to sing either.
And he just verified it for us.
Butchered that song. Sorry. The other Stevie's pissed.
So at the end of the show, you're gonna have to do a list of apologies.
That's right. Okay, so this is a weekly 1 hour show that's broadcast live. You can come back and check us out anytime if you miss it. It's just two men talking about the caregiving space and how we deal with our emotions, our situations, our daily lives, our relationships with the person we're taking care of, and the outside entities that we have to do relationships with and business with, and all the stress that goes along with that.
And all of that can overwhelm most men. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's you know, everything that you happened in your life prior to being put in this situation has not prepared you for this. Nothing has.
Yeah.
And you get to learn as you go along. You get to make mistakes and fall. And what we're trying to offer is a platform where maybe we can help you with our experience, because the mistakes are countless, and the ways to improve and the ways to bring something maybe new that'll work better has to come from, I think, a community of us talking to each other and to find out what works best. You like that candle?
I do. It was a gift from one of my close friends, a female named Susie. And she said that you need a candle in the man cave. And she got me a candle that says the man cave.
So here we are.
Brilliant, isn't she?
We have fire. It's official. The troglodytes have a microphone and fire. What more do we need?
Oh my God. All right. So let's get into it because I got a guy coming here to pick up my couches. Tonight.
So me and my wife, we moved
Oh God.
and we got rid of a couch and we put it on our curb, and we come home and there was a guy sleeping in it one day.
Hmm.
You got a better story than that?
Give me a minute. Okay.
I hope everything goes smoothly with your couch sale.
Well, you will, because you're going to be helping me move it out to the street for this guy.
Okay.
All right. So tonight we're going to talk about something that you either know about or you don't know about. It's called fatherhood, and the challenges that come around being a father, from parenting in today's modern society, and how the role is ever evolving, especially in the caregiving space. So I didn't set out to be married and have kids to say, I can't wait to be a caregiver to a dying kid. Oh, please me.
Those words have never been spoken.
Never. I went into it like anybody else. I wanted to be a dad, I wanted to have kids, I wanted to do the right thing and create positive people for societal needs. But
here's what happens. We come in here thinking we're going to play Monopoly, and we end up getting the worst version of Jumanji you've ever imagined. And it's just, you like that?
no.
I tried to think of board games that would fit the criteria for the drastic.
I'm thinking, is that Jenga? I mean, that sounds like a better fit because you just never know when it's all going to fall apart.
But the problem is with us, it falls apart every day. It can.
Oh, well,
and every day we have to be there for it. We put it back together. And
well, if you're listening and you're watching, if you have a question, you can put it down there in the chat, and we'll hopefully answer that as soon as it comes in. But right now, I just want to just kind of give basically some real quick notes on what we're doing here tonight. As much as we like to have fun, this is a place where you guys can get some good information. It's serious in nature at times, but other times we're just guys being guys, and I think that we don't take enough of that fun and put it into this life, because this life, like we said, it's hard. It's a hard life,
and it can drain you.
Yes.
It can take everything.
Yeah.
And you have to find a balance. You have to find a way to make it work.
Yeah. Like last week's show, we talked about work-life balance, right?
We solved that age-old mystery last week, didn't we?
We did. And for you that don't know, you're gonna have to go to next week and go back and scroll and figure out what we talked about. So being a dad in this space,
and we're both dads.
yes. And I find that a lot of people don't understand exactly what it is that I do, because I'm not really a part of society. Society is where you go and partake and you marry it, and you get kids, and you have the office job, and you travel, and you have vacations, and
Or you say things real simple like, yeah, let's go out to dinner tonight.
Yeah,
And these are things that don't get to happen.
no, not in this world. And so in our world, it's the same thing. It's just it comes with a lot of planning. And
Yes.
by the time the planning is all done, everything changes. So it's almost like you're having to shift everything for your person, and then it all just falls apart like Jenga.
Or
Yeah,
it goes in a direction you would never expect in a million years, and things come up that you don't know how to deal with, and more like Jumanji.
how many remakes of that have we seen?
I don't know. I'm sticking to my guns though.
Are you?
It's a good quote.
I
I gotta defend it.
really
Actually, I need to let it go.
listen.
All right, Jenga it is.
Okay, Jenga. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my text messages here from the owner and the founder. Good luck, guys.
That's very nice. Thank you.
Tell Steve I said hi.
That's me. Hi.
We appreciate you, Crystal. Thanks for letting us do this and being on air and being present for the men.
See, there's people that you'll never see that are behind the scenes taking care of things to make other people's lives easier, and that's from one of them.
Right. That's something like we're let's see. So as we are so new to YouTube and Zoom recording, we don't understand a whole lot of stuff. I'm thinking that if I record to YouTube, it's going to record to the cloud. But apparently, thank you, Crystal, for reminding me. I had to push record to the cloud for you guys too. So we're about, I don't know, 15 minutes into it. And you didn't miss much.
We've solved every problem there is known to
miss
man.
much. We're so not ready for
We reinvented the
time.
wheel while we weren't recording.
It's like the beginning of SNL. Just awful.
We did that last week too, so we're consistent at least.
I mean, yeah. So as
and it's just like our careers. You don't. We're two Gen X guys, and he's the technical one.
I'm not technical, obviously, as you can tell.
But we're doing the best we can because we feel there's a need for this, and we want to be able to be available.
Sophia's here.
Sophia the dog.
Hi, Sophia. Come up here. Sophia's going to be on the show. So another thing about caregiving space, if you don't have one of these dogs, you need a dog.
Oh yeah.
You need a dog because this dog is just, look at her. Sophia, are you a girl?
Pound for pound worth more than gold.
She's a little lame.
Well, it's like having the best therapist on call 24/7 that just stays with you.
What do they call it? An emotional support animal. Hi, baby. Yeah. Disgusting. Oh, right.
Thank you, Sophia.
Right. So back to being a dad. So in fatherhood in rare disease, we already talked about the fact that it's kind of harder than most. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's challenging most days.
It's challenging for our loved ones.
Yep.
For our spouses, people we're in a relationship with, for our family.
Yeah. Did you know that there's a tremendous high percentage of divorce in this space?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Time.
And again, it's a curveball
Raise
that
your
no
hand.
one expects.
Raise your hand if you're divorced. How many times, Steve? He's a serial marrier guy. What do you have? 3 wives?
I'm on my third marriage. I've only been divorced twice, which makes it sound so much better, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's amazing that you dived back into this space of being married, but you married into a special needs family. So that was different.
I did. Wow. And my wife showed me a video before we went on our first date.
Oh, about what to expect? Well,
she showed me a video of her son having a meltdown on a chair in the middle of the kitchen. Yeah. And what they would do, they just sit him in the chair because he would stem. And the motion, they wanted to keep him away from anyone or anything.
The stemming.
Yeah, so he couldn't hurt anyone, and he would just lose it for whatever reason. That's another thing too. And to be able to see that and say it didn't even slow me down. Actually, wow. It's like my whole crazy life prepared me for it. And that was the first time I became a caregiver, and that's over a decade ago.
Well, yeah, I'm not proud to say that I'm divorced, but it's what happens. Um, we weren't strong enough to keep it together. Too many cooks in the kitchen, as they would say, about caring for your special needs son or your daughter or your
And you get to find out who you really are.
right.
You get to find out
Right.
if who you think you are even matches closely to who you really are.
Mhm.
And for a lot of us men, it's a shock to find out I can't do it. This is too much. And so a lot of people just up and leave, move across countries. It's just, and it goes on and on.
It's sad. It's really sad. These men, they
And
just dip out.
And it's usually the men that
Oh, it's primarily the men. It's primarily the men. But we now know that there are a small percentage of women that fall into that same category.
yes.
I just can't do it. I won't do it. And I'm not going to do it.
But we're tailoring ourselves to the men who stayed behind, the men who didn't leave, the men who are giving it their best shot. And guess what? You might not be doing the best job in the world, but if it's what you need to be doing, then it's exactly what you need to be doing. Then you're right where you need to be. Now the trick is to know that you need to get better at it. You need to constantly improve and be teachable.
What men? Wait,
with every aspect
men
of the
need
person.
to get better. It's not. Wait, staying is not enough.
No. Or the old I make the money and that's all I need to do here. You'll hear it all.
Well, yeah, okay. This is a different topic, but I understand where you're going.
We're weeks ahead. But no, I'm just trying to give examples of how a man will justify not giving it his all because he can't or he doesn't know how. He's never been shown. He's never been in this situation before. Like I say, you've never been here before.
Well,
why do you think you can handle it?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes you may have a sibling growing up that is challenged or is special needs.
And my girls, yes.
Yeah. And then you marry somebody and then you have a child. You're like, oh, yeah, I've been here before. I didn't like it then and I don't like it now. But it still has experience. So, I mean, there's the, put up or shut up or, right. What do they call that? Fight or flight. Yeah.
So hopefully you're putting up a good fight for the cause.
Steve, what do you think the 5 top challenging things being a father in rare diseases? Let's say you're still married. What do you think the 5 top challenging things are?
One of the top ones has to be balancing your family. Because it's really easy to give whoever needs the attention all the attention, and you can't give all the attention. You have to spread yourself around. For a lot of not spouses, but what's it called when you have a brother or sister? There's a word for it, and it's just I'm drawing a blank on it right now.
It's called siblings.
A sibling. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So when the siblings are brought up with a individual with behaviors that may be different than the norm. And in my case, a lot of humming, a lot of loud noises, a lot of loud verbiage, a lot of aggression and anger.
Right.
A lot of the kids retreat to their rooms. They retreat within themselves. Oh. They don't want to bring kids from school over because maybe they're embarrassed of their brother or sister, whoever has the special needs. And so you have a family, you're trying to keep the balance in as best you can, because there's other people trying to get on with their lives also. That's just one thing. You want 5? What do you think number 2, or what do you think another one is?
I don't know. You kind of,
and that'll give me time to think.
You went through quite a few different things. I asked for one, but you brought in the balance thing, which kind of like dominoes into all that different areas of siblings and family and relationships and stuff like that. I'm sorry, this movie is in my head. Oh my God.
You got rid of the Stevie Wonder song though, hopefully.
Oh no, it's still in there.
No,
this one is a movie. Something about Mary. So you think that life is about special needs, about her brother, right? Beans and pranks. It's not always like that. It's Sometimes it is very difficult to have relationships outside the home.
Yes.
Sometimes it's very easy because sometimes your circle of friends are cool. They don't really care. They just like whatever. They hang out. But I would have to say one of the challenges is it's very lonely. It's very lonely in this world. You have to find your
Sure
people.
can be.
Yeah. You have to
And you're
find-
not going to be too social. You're not going to measure up to how maybe you think how social you want to be, or how you think your friends are, and you'll get the calls at first. We're going here, we're going there, and then you'll say no enough times where maybe the calls start slowing down or they stop coming at all. And now you find yourself at home, and you find yourself almost like the outside world is completely different than
hiding.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to deal with the outside world, because then people start asking you questions like, hey, are you okay? What are you doing today? How's
They
your
mean
kid?
well, but they don't have any experience, so they don't understand.
Well, you could just walk on in and say, hey, I'm here. I know a gal out there that basically does the same thing. She's a caregiver, and she's married to a nonverbal child who's in a wheelchair. And she will tell you the same thing that I say. Nobody really puts the time and effort in being friends because they don't get it, or they don't want to, or they're too uncomfortable. And all we want is to be normal again. And that just doesn't happen.
How about you go into a restaurant, you go into wherever, and there's the stairs, right?
Ugh.
And from the children, I would expect it, but the adults.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen this either, where they look at you and then they look at each other and you almost can read their lips, and it's like, thank God we don't have to go through that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's just people
mean,
people, though.
I mean, people should, talk about getting educated. It's like you hear about this all the way from the beginning of schooling, the elementary or the pre-K into the K into the first graders. There are kids out there that they're not around your type of children, our special needs kids, and they're basically just bullies. And where do you think they get that from?
Well, they see a difference. They see that this person does not look, act, or maybe sound the same as they do.
Yeah.
So immediately children pick up on that, and there's a separation there. And so what they don't understand, they'll make fun of, or
Right.
be aggressive towards.
Yeah, but as a parent, I'm looking at that child's parents saying, come on. Are you going to educate, or are you just going to pile on and say, oh, they're different, just leave them alone? That's what infuriates me. And that happens from K all the way to college. And I don't understand that. And it's, as a parent, parenting in this world, that's super frustrating. And I want to beat somebody.
Well, if we could bring understanding and change the world on, sign me up. But I guess it's one more of the challenges we have to go through, parents and caretakers.
What did you say earlier, Chris? You have to lower your expectations of others.
I don't think it was me who said that. I think life said that.
Life gave me a bunch of lemons, but I made lemonade.
Did you?
I did. It's so super sweet, bro. A little tart. So listen, when you're parents of special needs, it's challenging. You have probably, I think, 50 other things to deal with. It's just not about money, pride, and ego anymore. It's about, how do I look? How am I doing it? Am I going to stay in this relationship? Am I going to be a good parent? Or am I just going to bounce and leave because it's easier?
Here's the first thing that goes, because it gets very real very fast, depending on when you find out. The pettiness goes. That I want this, I want that. Your skin has to get thicker. You cannot be as sensitive as you used to be.
Are you talking about the parents, or are you talking about the friends and the siblings?
The parents, the fathers,
it's a lot.
And so here you are in a situation where you have to be a real boy Pinocchio, and you got to step up. And then to see that maybe you don't have the tools in your arsenal to step up, to maybe see you don't have the understanding that you're lacking, and to be able to go and find those. And that's what this is. This is just something we're trying to provide. So maybe you don't feel so alone, or maybe it'll be nice knowing that others understand exactly what you're going through.
Others. Where do we
Others
find
like us.
where do we find those men?
Well,
Where do we find these men, Steve, that are
maybe the algorithm, they'll find us.
you could click and join and subscribe right now. You hit that little bell. Thank you.
It'll help us out.
It'll help
and
you. It'll help you. Trust us.
That's all we want.
That's all we have. That's all we have. We have today, and we have the ability to like share with you our empathy, our compassion, our understanding of what you're going through. Okay. You're not going to get that in the therapist because maybe the therapist doesn't have a special needs son. You're not going to get that in your next relationship because that woman doesn't really understand anyway. And then she's forced, much like Steve was forced into this relationship.
Volunteer, not forced.
Right. To have that ability to understand. And good luck if they stay. And then you have to have that relationship. We didn't talk about this, but we got to go soon. We didn't talk about that. You have to have that, maintain that relationship with the parent that left. Yeah. How's that for frustration?
Oh, the hits keep coming. It's again overwhelming.
It's just ridiculous.
I don't care how much you can bench press. I don't care how many marathons you can run. You're in a realm now where it's going to cost you everything. You're going to spend everything you think you have.
I'm starting to get resentful.
Well, that's why we're here.
Jeez.
Because
I have a hard time letting go.
From here, we look back at what's been, and we've gained a lot of knowledge and experience.
Are you pulling a Kamala right now?
I don't know.
Unburdened to what has been? Don't.
I don't watch the news, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
We are a non-political channel here, guys.
Way to keep it that way.
Yeah. Jeez.
And what was I saying before you derailed
hopefully
my Nobel Prize winning speech here?
Listen, I think we're gonna have to call it. I'm not feeling good all of a sudden, and I need to like probably go hit the heavy bag right now.
So here's what happens, and it just stay.
I mean, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, just stay where you are though. But this is what happens. You'll realize you don't have emotions, but emotions have you.
Boy, do they.
And you'll have to find a way to cope with those. He likes working out and hitting the heavy bag.
I hit that bag so hard right now thinking of that person.
It's like any athlete, when you exhaust the physical body, it'll slow down the thinking. And it'll give you a little bit of relief there. So it's a smart thing to do, and it's a way to be productive and not cause any more harm to yourself or to the family or whatever is in front of you. So you have to find for yourself what works when you get heated, what works when you feel it rising up inside of you before it comes out.
I'm gonna step out. Can you take over for a couple of minutes?
And how do I shut it down when I'm done?
You don't have to. Just keep talking about fatherhood. I'll be right back. Please don't judge. Go ahead, Steve.
So being a father in this situation requires some maturity that maybe you don't have. It requires a way of looking and dealing with life that maybe you've never done before. It requires an effort that maybe you don't think you could even bring to the situation. And I'm telling you, you can do it. It's a lot of parents, they take the easy way out. As soon as the tire gets flat, they want a new car because they don't want to deal with the tire, right? And that's not an option. To be a father of someone with special needs is to, and this is a tough one too. Sometimes it's to mourn your child every day because you mourn what they could possibly be and you see how they are, especially when it gets to the point maybe your loved one is declining and you're the one that's there to give of yourself, to make their life as comfortable and as meaningful as possible. And I think it's a gift we're given. Being a caretaker is a calling. No one just says, oh, this pays this much, I think I can do that. Even the people I've met in caretaking, there's something special about them. There's an empathy and a giving they have. And I'll tell you something, I didn't start out with those features and those qualities at all. But through time and experience and understanding and just life as it is, I got to see that I need to change the direction of my life. I need to bring something more to what I'm doing, and I need to change. And for me, it wasn't about adding on anything. It was about letting go of things. That was the interesting part. I never expected that to become something new by the falling off of things I didn't need. And here I am, a caretaker to a boy with a rare disease who just wants to watch a Harry Potter movie now and then and laugh with funny noises. And it's amazing. It's amazing that I'm able to be there for that. And it's one day at a time. You can remember that. And I think you're on to something. You need to get back here. This is what happens when you go on live. And again, we're not in a fancy studio. We're at the home. We're at the home of the gentleman I'm sitting here with, my friend. And we're trying to reach out and do something to help others, because we didn't have this that I was aware of when we started. And and if you don't like this for whatever reason, find other resources that you can use to bring something back to your home. I think that's the most important thing. Don't ever stop being teachable. And remember, if a person is teachable, they can learn from a rock. It's being teachable isn't just learning from people who know more than you, that are way ahead of you. Your special needs person, or your elderly person, or whatever it is you're taking care of, you're going to make their life so much more meaningful, and you can bring that to them. And it's just a nice little thing to have. I really can't think of anything more to say. I'm going to sit here and listen to the dog bark. I'm going to try to pause this if I can. Or not. Nope, not happening. So here we are still. Come on.
Okay, I feel a little bit better. Yeah.
So what we had here was what they used to call a happening. What that means is a real moment that happens in the middle of something that should be maybe a little more structured. But such is life, and such is the life we are accustomed to.
Yeah.
One of my favorite authors said, "Real boats rock." And when you're in this situation, the boat really doesn't ever stop rocking until they're asleep. And even then, seizures, problems, choking. It's always being on alert, always being ready. It can run someone ragged. It really can.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. I apologize. I have a lot of work to do, obviously. But I've always never apologized, but I will tonight. I just keep it real. I'm still working on it. I'm doing a lot of writing. Man, it's real, man. It is this life. I don't know where that came from, but thank you, Steve, for coming.
I think life gets real when we get real.
Oh, yes. And that was a real moment. So, but listen, we're out of time. I just want to say thank you. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you next Monday night at 6 p.m. live Pacific here in California. My name is Christopher Vallona.
I'm Secondhand Steve.
And this is a man's journey. No matter where it takes you, it's going to be real. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Take care.
Until next time.
Adios.